Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to the NRL SuperCoach BDE podcast. We are the best draft experts here to guide you through your final series to get that much coveted draft trophy in your league. With me today are the boys, and coming all the way from downstairs is the Todd man himself. Let's go.
Yes, mate. Yeah, if you didn't know, boys, I was downstairs. Mate, yeah, finals time. How exciting for SuperCoach and how exciting for draft, mate. I'm looking forward to tonight's show.
You are, mate. And all the way from downstairs, we're sure to hear all about it. Simmo, how are you all, sir?
I'm doing well, mate. I have heard that Todd likes to be downstairs, so it's good we've got that out of the way early on the potty. It's all the background noises happening down there, so you're going to watch out for it. No, it's good to be back, boys. Obviously, I was off last week. A few birthday things. So, yeah, shout out to the listeners that are still with us now. Like, as you said, first week of SuperCoach finals. So, if you're still listening, then, hopefully you've probably made the finals. If you're still listening and you haven't, then shout out to you as well because, it's good to have the viewership. But, yeah, hopefully most of you guys are in and are keen to make a few waivers or pickups to guide you through this week.
Yeah, fair say there, mate. It is it's that time where the content creators do struggle a bit with the regular numbers because many have fallen by the wayside. And but I guess for those that are still with us, you're battling and learning for next year, which we all have those down seasons as well. So sure to bounce back next year, and we've obviously learned a lot. And I guess Simmo, for us, for doing it as long as we have, you do pick up some lessons along the way. You see a few things and hopefully take a few things away for next year. So I think as we get towards the tail end of the year, mate, it might be good for the listeners. We'll share a few things. I think it's probably a reasonable shout. So
yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, it's without going too much into it now, it's been a massive year with the the change of the stats. I think that's been the big thing. Obviously, going into the year, we were sort of thrown a bit of a curveball a couple of weeks out that people we had to all adapt to. Easier said than done because we didn't really know what necessarily we were adapting to. So, yeah, there'll be a few takeaways that we'll be keen to talk about. That's for sure.
Tackle bots are back, baby. We somewhat got that aspect right. Yeah, edge 80-minute back rowers who can tackle a lot and also have upside. They'll come in hot next year for sure. So, boys, we'll just shout out to the listeners who've joined us already this week. Love seeing already ripping past the double digits. It's good to see. Thanks for the support this year. It's been absolutely awesome. Looking to come back even better, bigger, and stronger next. So awesome stuff. All right, let's dive in. I'll just share my screen, gentlemen. So bear with me a moment. And we'll go with this bad boy. And we'll jump across here. All right, gentlemen, we'll dive into it. And tell you what, if anyone can tell me what's going to happen in this matchup, you're a better tipper than me because we have the absolutely hapless Cowboys who were thumped the week before, providing the Roosters with almost a record amount of SuperCoach points versus the Titans who, a bit Jekyll and Hyde, they finally came crashing back down to earth. But I think there's some points in this one, surely. So for SuperCoach reasons, maybe there's some peripheral players that you might have a crack at. So we'll see how we go. Aman Dursto, welcome, good sir, has jumped in. JC for 200 plus. Yeah, I would like to be a JC owner this weekend. I would be a huge fan. I think that is going to go quite well. Maybe even for those classic players, a sneaky VC option on a Thursday night, I would dare say. In terms of options for waiverable moments, looking at the Titans first, gentlemen. So, look, I don't think we're getting desperate enough, Simmo, unless you're honestly in a 14-team league. Are you going to be starting Jojo Fafita? Like, is he solid enough for you, or is there just not enough upside there?
Oh, it's really hard. Like, because a few weeks ago, I was all about Jojo. I was just saying how I was sort of rooting for him to have a good year or good finish at least. But ever since that comment, he's sort of gone backwards a bit, at least from a SuperCoach perspective. He's definitely not a must-start by any means. But if you're in a 14-teamer, you're probably going to look to fire him up in the matchup that we think could be a fair few points in it. So that's probably all you need to know with him. I mean, 12-team leagues is probably a bit harder. He'll be on the borderline. But 10-team leagues, I'll probably go elsewhere.
So our man Saran, g'day to you, sir. He says, g'day, gents. Got a dilemma on who to play. Clifford versus TMM. No goal kicking by Clifford. You're going TMM despite the tough matchup for later. You can't take Clifford without the goal kicking, Todzer. No good.
Yeah, no good for Clifford, unfortunately. I think I'm side with you. A really tough matchup for the Wires, though. So I can see the dilemma, but I think we'd have to go TMM.
Yeah, it's just too hard to trust Clifford in a final. Like, if you put TMM in there and it doesn't work, I think you can sleep okay at the end of the night. Whereas if you put Clifford in there and he clunks you 25, I think you're going to feel pretty rough about it. So, yeah, unanimous there, Simmo. You can't go Clifford there, can you?
Yeah, I'd go TMM as well.
The other question from Saran, probably a little trickier one. So VC, JC, and Kinney. JC. I'm going to go in there. It's JC, and the reason I say it is because Ilias is in there. Guys, Ilias ain't it. We know this. It will potentially clunk things up for the overall team. Yes, JC could connect with Kinney, but there's only really one side of the pitch that he can do that on, being the left. If Kinney doesn't get the ball on the sweep here, or just to finish off some plays, he can still score brilliantly, but are we, again, unanimous? JC, gentlemen?
JC for me.
No, give me Kinney.
Hey!
Any thoughts then? Ilias doesn't worry you there?
It does a little bit. I just think that, like, this is one of those ones. It honestly is just a coin flip. A couple of weeks ago, what was it? Was it 2 weeks ago when JC went big? I think I VC'd Kinney in Classic, so I had it on JC the whole week, and then did the old switcheroo. So I got it wrong then. Happy to get it wrong a second time. I'm going to go back to the well. I just feel like Kinney's a bit more due than JC. So yeah, you guys are probably correct. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
G'day, Cal. Cal says, worst time for Ilias to make a comeback. Goddamn, couldn't agree more.
Yuck.
He works out hard and he appears well on a billboard. He's doing a lot of advertising for him during this period, I've noticed. So being at Rabina every second week, as you boys know that I am. Yes. Kinney, train, baby, VC for me. Cal's with you. Cal's with you on the Kinney, Simmo. Dursto.
G'day, Cal.
Ilias, man, grim. It is absolutely grim. Grim watching for sure. You're starting Pasco. Aramaho, very fortunate to be starting this week after another horror show, especially in defense. There's some arm grabbing on that man. He's got it in him, but he's hung on. So, look, again, really quickly, gentlemen, if you were desperate and you've lost back rowers, you might be down, let me think, 12 this week, for example, for owners out there, could be a pretty big one. Similar Fainu. If you had to, is Aramaho on your plug-and-play list, Todzer?
No, I don't think so. Like, I know he has that chance to go big, but, man, he's been so bad. I just don't think he's going to go big in this one either.
Yeah, I think are there concerns with Patson coming in? If he has another horror show early in this one, like, Simmo, that's a realistic threat, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. We know with Aramaho, the allure's there because he's got attacking upside.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that scared us the most is he scored a try last week. And, like, up until last week, we were saying, he's still got that try-scoring potential that could hit you a 70 or whatever. It's just that we'd never seen him do it and only score a 51. So,
yeah, that's right.
It's just, if you're going to start him, it is – for most leagues out there, like ours is obviously a bit different, but for most people, you throw him on your bench and look to AE him if he hits off big, rather than having him in your starting team. But in leagues like ours, where you're forced to start guys and you can't AE on purpose, stuff like that, like we have no AE in general. It's just such a hard decision with him. I think you just got to play it safe and look elsewhere. But there's as much chance that he pops off 2 try. 90 or 100. But then, are you okay if you roll him out there and he gets hooked after 30 minutes like he did a few weeks ago when he got that 16? So he's really volatile. I definitely wouldn't do it in the second row spot. Back to your question. For me, he'd be a front row start, if anything. But, I would keep him out of the second row position.
I think it's one of those contextual ones where I love the advice, gentlemen. I also think if you are dead set, you're looking at your matchup and you're like, wow, how the hell am I going to win this? He's that kind of plug and play in your FRF2 that I think is kind of perfect for that purpose. But if I was in a close matchup on paper, no, he's way too risky. And of course, we got to get
round too, like the first game too. Like if he was in like the last game on a Sunday and you were chasing like an 85 or something, like he's the guy. Let's fire him up. But like first game, and if he comes out and just doesn't plonker, it sucks so much for the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I like Simmo's AE setup shout, by the way. I think that's really, really good advice. Really good stuff. And Cal's just added here. Also played like 50 minutes last week. Some props play more than that. That's absolutely it, mate. The risk is he's not on that 80-minute roll anymore. Nor probably should he be at this stage of his career. He's he gets fatigued and then errors set in. But God, if ever you're going to find some upside against the team that conceded 82. One of the lowest effort defensive moments you'll probably ever see. Marky Mark literally just vaulting over in the corner, carried 4.5 of them. I'm going to count there was a desperate lunge in there. That might be the weakest defense I've ever seen. NRL level. That was
below average. That's embarrassing for those guys. Like, that is. Imagine going back to training and having to watch that on film. Boy.
They say some coaches, they reckon, such a bad performance, don't replay anything.
Nah, don't you replay that.
Todd Payton, that one play gets put, you sit there like it's an hour. It's like Clockwork Orange stuff. Eyes open and peeled. Watch that for an hour and tell me, could you have done better in this spot? That is absurd.
That's crazy work.
Yeah.
They'll be fired up for this one after that display last week. This will be a fun game, I reckon.
The Cowboys have got more to play for. Like if they cannot get back on track in a game they should win, I know it is away, but it's against a fellow Queensland team. Like if they're in the finals mix, if they're serious about that, they got to bounce back. So
Speaking of people that have got to bounce back, Zach Labert, I saw some ratings at some point. I won't say the specifics. I can't remember him exactly, but certainly rated the worst player in the comp for the week just gone. That is some of the most diabolical rugby league I've actually seen. He's retained his spot. That's outrageous. To be fair,
they have any other backs, dude?
They mustn't. They absolutely mustn't. Like Valia must be not there anyway. I'm not sure who else is backing him up, but my goodness, he was poor. So he's sitting in there. So that I'm just trying to think. Simmo, you're all over this, mate. Which one of JoJo? Tell me JoJo's matching up on Labert, because if he is, sign me up.
Yeah, he will be. Labert was playing left last week. And we've seen Chester play right the whole season. So it'll be Chester and Brimson, JoJo versus Labert.
Give me some JoJo then. Labert stinks.
That's funny.
The bounce back factor, though, you'll fire up Talangi and Burns because it is against the Titans. I think Burns is on for one here. I'd love that as a bit of a bounce back. I think you'll have your Scotty Drinkwater. If you survived his absolute clunker last week, I think that connection is going to be pretty juicy for this one. Sneaky Multi and the Syndicate, I reckon, Simmo, with those two involved, mate. I like the look of. All right. Make my way down. Kai O'Donnell's found his way back into a back row. Jeremiah Nane, that's the end of the Supercoach season for him. He can be dropped. Let him go. He actually had shown an okay floor, surprisingly. So the advice wasn't terrible on that. But Hammy, I saw 2 to 3 weeks. Just even if he was to come back for 26, you're not risking him. So go on.
Wasted spot, a rusted spot.
See ya later. Really quickly, just to ask you, give me just a yay or nay. Kai O'Donnell, is there anything? There's not, is there? There's not.
No. That Cowboys team's not. There's a lot of dross in that side.
Gentlemen, really quickly, if you were reliant on one Appy Coruscant round 23 bye, and it's a must-win week, I want you to think of hookers for me. Sony Luke, with the second concussion for Marnie ruling him out for another week, they're taking it carefully, which is good stuff. Pardon me. Sony Luke did play 60-odd minutes, 65, I think it was, 67 minutes. I would be saying he is an okay plug-and-play if you're desperate. Not because I think he's a particularly good football player, but the minutes should be there this week. Tell me if there's anyone, as we look for the rest of these teams, Tell me if there's anyone better, because I sadly think there might not.
Yeah, you're right. It might be hard pressed to find someone better.
But keep that in mind for me, gentlemen. And also, I want you to do real quick. I think I know the answer to this, but even if it is in the back row, I'd still have Ho over K. O'Donnell. K. O'Donnell, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
that should be obvious, that one.
Beautiful. All right, on to the game that you mentioned. Todd's, there has to be some kind of hype around this. 6 o'clock game.
Yes.
Based on the fact because it's in New Zealand, right? But it just sucks it's not the primetime game. It should be.
Yeah, it should be, but boy, howdy, is this going to be a juicy one. Juicy matchups. We see Lecker the Wrecker in the centres, baby, for the Waz.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Big game for both teams.
Is it fair to say Lecker Halasima, he'll be out there in a shit ton of leagues. We know this. He hasn't lived up to any billing all year. However, matchup is tough, but I feel like this is one of those kind of hot and cold type players, at least at this stage of his career, Todd's. If you need a third back rower, maybe again because you're down a twirl or whatever it may be, your injury has struck you, mate, I think firing him up this week is still not a bad shout in the centres. I don't mind it.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm all about Lecker getting game time. I've always been about him getting game time, and he does have that ability to break open a game. But I just think that Nathan Cleary is going to send so much traffic at him on defense that he's not going to be able to attack like we want him to. I don't know if I love him in the centres. I think I would have preferred him in the back row. But, get a 2RF that's interesting enough that have a player maybe this weekend.
My pushback against that, Todd, is I think at this stage of his level of conditioning that big minutes in the back row just it's not worked. I don't know if it'll ever will be. I hope it is. I think centre at least gives him a chance to not be gassed as much to do all that work, defensively.
Man, I think Cleary sends every single bit of traffic down that way, hey?
It's not a bad shout, mate. Simmo, do you want to be the decider on this? I like him. If you are struggling for options, I see some allure here for that line break try.
If it wasn't the Panthers, I'd be all about it. Yeah, but I think it's just the matchup that scares me with Halasima. It actually annoys me that they didn't give him dual last round of duels because he's flirted with a few games at centre throughout this year. So it's it's a bit frustrating that he's only 2RF. But anyway, whatever. I'm lukewarm on the idea. It's just not. I just don't think this is the week for it.
Just checking, mate. Will Halasima have Tango matched up against him or Big Alamotti?
Alamotti.
Damn. Not a
Would
big
you
fan.
boys be interested in saying picking him up and stashing him on the bench for this week and having a look next week? Whoever was got next week.
I do. They got a juicy little run coming, Tots.
Broncos like next week, Broncos.
Juicy. Very, very juicy.
So maybe a pick up and stash for next week. I don't mind playing against the Broncos if he's named at centre.
Against Stags.
Can I also just add, gentlemen, that with Edgar back there and not Dylan Edwards still, and Tungo, who I don't think is a very good defender, I don't mind the idea, a little sneaky shout, Leotower, who's looked better and better as well. I don't think this Panthers team is as amazing right now as it will be in about 3 weeks' time or whenever they make the finals comes around. So that's why I actually think, mate, I'll be putting the cheeky tip towards your Waz this weekend, Tots.
Go on, the boys. Boy, howdy. I hope, you know what, apart from all that SuperCoach advice, I hope Lecker comes out and bath these boys. Yeah. Holy, dude.
Now, Tuapiki, Simmo, he is on the bench. So where has this got to? What a weird run of events. Chance did play particularly well, but that was against, it's against the Titans. So is it really that incredible? Do we think this is how it stays the rest of season now? Is this just Tane coming back to fitness? Try and make sense of this madness that is Tuapiki CNK, mate.
No, I mean, obviously he got hurt, so it was just going to be like a 1 to 2 week injury. So the fact that he's on the extended this week means he's obviously close.
Yeah, that's good.
I would just assume that, up until now, we don't really see any reason to think that Tuapiki has lost the spot. So there's a real chance that Tuapiki could come back in and Chance could go to centre or something like that. So that could be a bit of an issue for Lecker as we were on that topic. But yeah, this has been a storyline throughout the whole year, and it's been one that's been really hard to get right.
So hard.
But yeah, I mean, Tuapiki owners, the good thing is it's an early game, so you'll know what second game of the round. So you make changes based on that.
Couple of questions here in the chat, gentlemen. So Cal, prefer Clifford or a waiver like CHT, Brimo, or Duffy? I'll go to you, Simmo.
Jeez. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? Like it's a week for it. CHT against the Panthers, Clifford against the Titans, but we weren't really keen on Clifford before. Brimson, no. Duffy, kicking goals probably, but it's hard to really get behind it.
That's a hard one, Simmo. You might be right, but I think Walsh will probably keep it.
You reckon?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Duffy's kicked over him whenever Duffy's played before.
Earlier in the year, yeah, I remember that. I just obviously with Walsh's great rapport with the touchline officials. If you saw that one, you saw that non-conversion conversion where it went through and they both said no, which was incredible.
Yeah,
I've got Clifford
here.
That wrong. I've got Clifford here, mate. It's against the Titans. I know we said he wasn't a great option earlier. None of these are great options. And not knowing that Duffy would kick, I would be taking Clifford or keeping Clifford personally.
Yes.
Anything?
Any other matchup for CHT, I would take him, but yeah, maybe Clifford versus Titans.
Our man Meso is in. Hello, good sir. Halasima would still be playing to hold his spot, surely. If he plays well, he might keep it for the run home. He's a poor match here from going back to the bench. 100%. It's risky start. I like Todd's advice of the stash, and if you're desperate for an upside play, a pretty decent shout as well. All right. I think that's it for that game, gentlemen. I've got nothing else there. Other than Liam Henry going into next year remains a very enticing option. And if you want to just have an absolute stab at a Tommy Hazelton-like Supercoach score, play him from your bench as your FRF2 because he's averaging 60, for Christ's sake. He's on fire, the kid. Cal, cheers. Agreed. I think I got to back Cliff's form this year. Losing the goals is a killer. It's brutal, mate. It is absolutely brutal, but hopefully you hit some upside there. But you're going to want platoon rest of season because you can't play Clifford every week. No way. We move on to a very important game in the landscape of the NRL season. Simmo's Roosters up against the resurgent Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
This could be a cracker.
I actually think this is a fantastic round of games. This is probably one of the better rounds for a while. There's another one later on we'll talk about, but yeah, Roosters versus Canterbury. This could be anything. You have to think this one's going to have a slightly more defensive feel in mind, just because both teams are really up there and cranking. Obviously, Sammy Walker, shout out to owners out there. 207 Supercoach points will boost anyone, and you're probably in your finals if you needed the wins. I think I did see in the chat earlier. Let me just bring it up because this is incredible. Paul Stanger says, would like to be the first to admit I lost by 10 points on the weekend as an S Walker owner. Ero's weak chin was a difference. That is very rough, mate. That's not the way you want to miss out. Hopefully you still snuck into the finals, but yeah, obviously a rough loss when you've got 207 with you. Simmo, I don't know if I'm surprised to see Teddy there, relieved. It's one of those ones that just gives you a moment's pause given, how he's come out of games early this year.
Yeah, I reckon it's just who they're playing, honestly. It's if this was a lesser team, sort of like a bottom of the 8 team, I know the Bulldogs are they're 8th at the moment, I think, so they are right on that precipice. But I think the fact that the Bulldogs are sort of making a few statements out there that they're sort of starting to get a little bit hot and they could do a few things if they make the finals. I just think for the spectacle's sake, Robinson's thrown him out there. It's a great test for the Roosters as well. See how they back up after the 82 points against the Cows. So, this could have that real finals feel. I definitely agree with you there. I think it'll be a real tight one. You probably want to be on the unders, I'd assume, in this one. So, yeah, I think Teddy being there, owners, if you've got him in your finals in a knockout game or whatever, like obviously you're happy to have him in there. But yeah, I think in a perfect world, you got the bye, and you like if you had the bye, you'd want to see him not play. But I mean, a lot of good SuperCoach owners with Teddy are probably happy he's back this week.
Yeah, it's a big moment. It's just a nervous moment, I think it's fair to say. Good bounce back to form from Marky Mark. You love to see it. Obviously, we won't now figure out the Savala Smith situation with Tupou down, so just keep riding it. Round 26 could be an incredibly awkward moment for the owner of one of those two when Tupou's due back, which is just brutal. So there's another saga, just like the Tuapiki CNK Tozza. Just it won't come to an end. It's just going to keep on rumbling.
No. Live it the whole way through the roller coaster through finals. You love to see it.
A couple of things that aren't surprising to me. One is Spencer Lino being told he can look elsewhere as he's been overpriced and has done jack shit with his role for quite some time. So well done, Roosters. Love the way they manage sides, to be fair, with the exception of Mr. Cul-de-sac himself, who can still kick really well in DCE. 4 cul-de-sac runs in an 82, gentlemen. I just want to point that out. I was counting them. He literally cannot run in a forward line anymore. It's watch. Boy, can the kid still kick, though. Jesus, his 40-20s are absolutely insane and drop goals. Celeste Fiketti, Todza, I wanted to bring you in at this, mate. You are as big a fan as anyone. We are all about this kid. He played 80 minutes on an edge last week, and he looked effing fantastic.
Yes, sir. See, there's a 2RF I would start every day of the week here. This is a fun one.
Todza, you and I have
tough
tried to
matchup, but the kids are beast, man.
Yeah. And I've condoned it with you live and said, nah, he's that good.
Yeah, man. It's good to see him get 80 minutes last week.
I was going to say, this is what I wanted to bring up, because if you could guarantee him 80 minutes the rest of season on an edge, he is the number one waiver claim this week, and it's not even particularly close. Boy, is there so much uncertainty over that holding up. Like there is so many different combos. Like Butcher at the first round of cuts could get moved up into the who knows, right?
Yeah.
Do you send it on the chance that you are looking at an 8-minute edge for Ketty at this stage of his career?
If I'm in a must win this week, it's such a fun one, but bro, I could not start him just in case he doesn't play 80. Because I think if you were to guarantee me 60 and he hits it a bit of upside, I'd be so happy with that.
Yeah.
But man, if he doesn't play 80, goes to like a 50-minute roll or gets moved to a middle rotation, it's just I would hate for it to be the reason I lose a final.
It is one of them, isn't it? And it isn't exactly an easy matchup either. That's the thing. It'll be on Preston, who's a wonderful defender. I think I actually got those sides right for a change, Simmo. So,
well done.
Thanks, mate. I know you, mate. You're also a massive. You're pumped as a Roosters fan about his future. With Lindsay Collins coming back, Simo, Nat's on the bench. That's the extra middle, and that's what Nat can do. So I worry this is like a bit of a chop and change model, mate.
Yeah, I think it's as much as we really want to get behind Fiketti, he's a low end waiver for mine. He's on a high end waiver only because 75 with a try last week in an 80-minute game. You pretty much all the points I was going to say you touched on there against Preston. The return of Lindsay Collins. I just don't know. I think it's a bit early, but in saying that, I'd also want to own him if it was to come to fruition. So I'm not ballsy enough to spend a high-end waiver on him, but if you sort of lower down, I think he's someone that should be on benches just because if he pops off, he's a front row eligible guy that if he ends up locking down 80 minutes, if that does happen, then he'll be useful in the run home. That's for sure.
Even 60 in that scenario, as Todd's pointed out, is still potentially playable, Simo, given that eligibility. So I think we're in agreement here, gents. He's on the radar. At minimum, a free agent pickup if he sneaks the way through waivers. But a low end is a good shout. He's a good stat. He's a really
Where's
good
him versus Halasima for you boys? Which one would you prefer?
They are so close for slightly different reasons. If Halasima holds a center spot through the Warriors' next upcoming run, Todds, Halasima is most likely your answer because that's 80 minutes of him potentially scoring line break tries and tackle busts. But if you said Feketi has somehow jagged 80 minutes the rest of the season, holy shit, it's Feketi. Do you know what I mean? Like it's I know that's fence sitting, but they're like, to me, they're 1A, 1B, whichever way you want to flip them. Both worth stashing. Don't spend the house. One of them could win you a league, though, which means if you're getting frisky, Simmo, I actually also now, as I've said it out loud, if you're shooting for a rainbow, you don't need to rely on them. If he plays 80 again this week, Simmo, they win and he looks good, well, maybe that's the 80 locked in.
Maybe, yeah.
It's still
maybe. It's just such a that's such a big ask. It's honestly such a big ask. It
is.
Like, to be honest, I don't really think that's going to happen. I just feel like Robinson. I paint me shocked. If we sit here today and from now between the end of the year or whenever, assuming Angus Crichton doesn't return, I know he's meant to come back in the finals, but let's say, if Angus wasn't to come back, I just don't see Feketi playing 80 minutes between now and, whenever the Roosters get eliminated in finals or grand final day. Like, I can't see it.
I love how you worded that. That's brilliant. Whenever they get eliminated, there's not end of the season. That's quality from
grand final day. That's a chance.
Todd, so this one is just for you, mate. Nothing really to report on here from this back line. We reached an accord, Simmo, that I didn't have to keep mentioning certain players' names because there was some validation kudos given while you were away last week.
Here we go. I was super tired. And I made a mistake. Look at him in his dirty 54. That dirty 54 from Tuala, you dirty dog.
Hey, I'm not even going to say the name. I don't need to. We reached an accord. There was validation.
Yeah, I'm off him. I'm well off him. I won't be back on him ever on this podcast ever again. I'll be too busy being downstairs, boys.
Too busy being downstairs. Absolutely. Stanger's coming hot with a question. So drop one half to pick up a centre. Drop Joey Walsh. No. Drop Wishart. No. Drop Savala for either Rinakama, Samrani, or Tungo. No two. I wouldn't be. I think I'd want the cover. Want the cover for the run home, and I like all three of those options. Especially, I think dropping Joey Walsh should be a risky business, and Wishart.
Well, he has to drop someone. He said he has to drop one.
It did. I read it as it didn't say he had to. If he had to, it'd actually.
Well, he needs a center. So.
Does he say that? Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, Savala?
Wishart for me.
Because Hughes is possibly due back, Simmo?
Well, they got to buy next week, and Grant and Hughes could be back after that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would drop Wishart.
Yeah, I really like that. That was solid. I agree with both of you. Wishart's the drop there.
Yeah.
Dom, hey lads, we think Teddy playing 80. Good to see you, fella.
I don't want to think about how many minutes Teddy plays. That's what I don't want to think about it.
In this matchup, I'm going to say probably injury dependent 80. That's hard.
He plays 80.
Wish he playing
80 minutes, yeah. Unless he gets concussed.
Yeah, that's
or they score 50 and a half. That's sort of the only.
Exactly. Wishy playing hooker now. Yes, indeed he is. Don't mind the extra tackles. I'm down a CTW, but could AE. Yeah, those options weren't that flash. Like, there's no universe I'm starting Tungo in a final. I don't even care. He'd scored.
Samrani, no.
Samrani's probably the floor argument of those three.
Rinakama in this matchup, no thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I think an AE is probably play. Yeah, I would.
Savala might go good in this matchup. You never know. Like, yeah.
The only thing with him AEing is you would assume he's getting the lowest score out of
the three.
Savala and Wishart.
Savala,
or Walsh.
Yeah.
Whatever he's.
He'll
start one. He'll get the lowest score of the other two.
That versus Samrani or Rinakama, like, Jesus. Rinakama in this matchup could end up with a sub 40.
He could, but the risk is that his AE will be equal to that because he's playing the downside of two halves. Like Savala up against who? Oh, no, he'll be up against Tuala, won't he?
Tuala on the
But remember what you said, though. You said Wishart's the drop. So Savala plays anyway, even though I think Wishart's matchup at hooker is really, like, I would love
Oh,
to play.
Wishart's the drop for me because of next week, not because of this week.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Wishart's a fine play this week.
But the thing, though, in your scenario is you said drop Wishart's and play Savala now, so then you got to run with one of those over Wishart's score, essentially, and you play Savala.
Yeah, just play
That's the problem with that scenario. So I think based on that, I would AE. I don't think the CCW option's good enough. If Karma had a really good matchup, I possibly could get around it, but I don't think it is. So, all right, Dursto's on board to AE with those three. I think just they're not wonderful options. I can see why the question is being asked. We need to talk about potential number one waiver of the week. And speaking of locks, Jamin Salmon found an absolute rich vein of form with a 2-try special. Gentlemen, why is he averaging so much in the last bit, even take out the 100? I actually looked for the first time in about 70 years. Has actually been base statting plenty because he is tackling. It's kind of weird and annoying. One of these players that sneaks through, you're not going to back him in a final, are you, Tots?
No, thank you. No.
It's just annoying his points. Go for my deep leaguers here. If you look at his points, Tots, it'll surprise you. It's actually been...
Yeah, I get it. It's like 61, 90, 55, 56. But in this matchup, no thanks. I don't know. Would I be happy starting Salmon and he gets a 55? I'd be so filthy at myself.
With a 55? Yeah. I think that's the point. I think his floor's been kind of ridiculous. Do I want to sit here and argue hard to starting Jamin Salmon? No, I don't. But it's one of those ones, if you're in a deeper league and that 55 is valuable to you, I mean, unless Kurtman suddenly just rips all the minutes away, or Mr. Half-Ear Harry Hayes, poor guy, I don't. Yeah, it's fine. It's a floor argument.
I see Satilli back too.
Satilli is back, Todd. I think good.
He was pretty good before he started, man. Before he went off with injury, sorry.
See, Dursto, great question here. Who loses minutes now that Tupanua is back? Salmon, King, or Thompson? Thompson's already lost a few minutes, so I don't think it'll be him. He's gone from playing really big minutes and has dropped down a little bit, so I think that's about right. It's between King and Salmon. You'd think Salmon naturally might be the one to lose, and maybe that floor drops to 40. Simmo, enough of a risk to completely fade Salmon in those deeper leagues then, potentially?
Definitely. You don't want no part of Jamin Salmon.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Good raise, Dursto. I think that's a good, safe play. All right. Here is a matchup that, I mean, this could be anything. Over in Perth, if it's in the sunshine, you've got Cam Munster back. Cam Munster, surprised that he's back that soon. It also means the Harry Grant owners obviously keep hanging on because they're obviously keen just to finish the season strong, even though they're cooked. So that's good stuff.
Why would the Storm bring him back? I don't understand.
It's odd. It's
why fly him across to Perth when they've got the bye next week? Unless he's planning on flying to Bali after that for a shorter flight across.
I'll get one more 80 out of your money and then you can go to Seminyak, brother.
Off you go, son.
Could be. Now, Simmo, as a Munster owner, are you starting him in a final, mate, if you've got a good alternative? Because that is a fucking terrifying start, to be honest.
It's a terrifying start, but when you look at Munster's scores, he probably won't be that player coming back first game off a knee, but 5'8" is not a good position. It's going to be hard to not start Cameron Munster.
Yeah. No, it's a tough one, mate. I get it. You're going to start Buddy, but if you do have a viable 5'8" option, mate, you're an Ethan Strange owner, so you don't have to play him technically. So you've got a consideration of flex. So I wondered if someone has picked up a good alternative in this little run. I wonder. But if you're sitting there on like a Volkman or something, fire him up and hope for the best. Yeah,
I think the thing is though, you just got to hold on. If you're a Munster owner, I mean, there's no Hughes, there's no Grant. He's an experienced head. There could be a lot that runs through Cameron Munster. He might just find his way into that accumulation type of score. I think he'll still find his way to a 55, just from getting around the ball a lot. So he might not hit much upside this week, but I think he's sort of still kind of safe-ish in terms of his what his performance will be. It's just whether or not the obvious risk is he hurts the knee again, but anyone could get injured. So that's sort of 5'8" is so hard. A lot of Munster owners out there will be sort of having to probably chuck him in.
Speaking of Munster, great question from our man Zed Dragons. Good to see you, sir. Holding, Eero, Touchman, and McLean. Ouch, that is a disgusting week for you, sir. My humblest apologies. We'll be relying on an AE will count. Do we like Dufty or Munster best? Turbo also dropped. Could try pick him up too and run with 12. Knockout semi. I can't get around the last bit in a must-win.
No.
You don't want to go down for those reasons. Okay, so...
Start Dufty as your AE.
I think it's Dufty, isn't it? It's Dufty.
Dufty versus the Eels. Yeah, boy.
It's a pretty good shout, Dufty. He'll be my flex starter. He would be my flex starter in League of Record if I needed it. Meso, I just look at Joey Walsh's average. He's like at 70 from the 6 games. He's played 80. Oofed, better than I thought. He has been sneaky good, and he passed the eye test both live and on TV. I think he's one to look out for next year. He looks really good. He's going to be SuperCoach friendly. Looks to try and create things very regularly. So good stuff. And I'd start him in this matchup with a fair bit of confidence too. I'm not saying you'd start him over established guns or anything, but I tell you what, if you haven't got one of the big boys, he is right there. So, here's one for you. Gentlemen, Izzy Katoa versus Joey Walsh. I know on paper it's like, oh, it's obviously Izzy Katoa. Izzy on the way back, a little bit quiet. Joey Walsh just keeps scoring for fun. What do you think?
I am Izzy Katoa.
Yeah. Flip a coin and
Bloody close.
go with whatever. Yeah, flip a coin.
Very, very close. All right. Start your Oren Keeley, Cooper Clarks with a bit of confidence. And Moses Leo, our boy, mentioned him a bit. He's right on the platoon start line this week. He may look like he'll get injured in game for you. Another HIA on the weekend to add to his run. But the kid can score tries and he's fast. I think he's a great start this week. I would be firing him up for sure.
Good thing with Moses Leo is he usually scores a try before the HIA.
He does.
He usually does something great before he gets cooked.
Yes.
So
or he gets cooked in the act of scoring, Simmo. Exactly.
Yeah. He's a special for always doing something before he goes off hurt.
Yeah. But easy start this week. Over to Manly. Lehigh at fullback, gentlemen. It's a problem. It's a big, big problem for this team. It makes it hard to trust Lehigh for must-win weeks. I get it. You're probably not going to have better sitting there. But, geez, if I had a fifth CTW of a Moses Leo type, please look really hard and try and have the courage, I think, because it did not look pretty, Todzer, with Lehigh.
Yeah, Lehigh not looking great, mate, at fullback. We saw that last year, and especially for SuperCoach, we were really high on him, and he just didn't work out at fullback. But, yeah, he's getting targeted by the teams. I wouldn't be looking to start him this week.
No, it's hard. It sucks. And he has the potential, Todzer, talent-wise. The man's got talent oozing out of the body. Like, the matchup is not terrible either. You probably force CTW him at worst, but, oh, boy, it's a hard sell. And it actually kind of cooks the SuperCoach potential of a lot of this backline this week, and I hate it, mate. I really hope we'd see Cooler there, and it feels like they just, Cooler dropped the high ball a couple of times. That's it. At least he offers something going forward, like, Jesus. All right, we'll move forward. Here's a question just related to what we were talking about. Our man Phoenix is in. Hello, mate. Hey, boys, we don't have a flex position in our league. Any recommendations what I do with Dufty, given I've got Teddy in fullback? The age-old start your studs advice, Simmo. It remains, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. If you want to bench Tedesco in a final, that's historically would not be the right decision. Especially if you were to say you're going to start Matt Dufty over him, that would also historically be the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Will it be the wrong decision this week? Maybe not. But I mean, it depends what sort of owner you are. It's like, what can you live with, Phoenix? It's if you put Teddy on the bench and he rocks out at 130, like, Do you want to be that guy that's bench Teddy in a final? Like, I don't know.
That's right. I think he's a perfect AE candidate this week. I think we've said it. That's if you've got that strategy available to you, Dufty is the guy you live and die by in this scenario. Take the risk with injuries to the rest of your team or tough drops, but Dufty would be a phenomenal guy to have as your AE. So I'd be working towards that too, Cal. I'll come back to your question, Meso. No, I think we're good and up to date. We are. Phoenix says, don't think I'm going to do that. Might drop a winger for an AE. How about the Panthers next week? Don't think I'm going to do that. Might drop a winger for an AE. Yep, like that. How about the Panthers next week? I'm not quite sure of that last part.
Oh, is he going to start Teddy against the Panthers next week?
Yes. That is one. Teddy owners have been looking at that fixture from the day of drafting. If we can get past around 24 Teddy owners, we're looking very good for 25 and 26. But it is tough. Touch wood. All right. Corey Waddell's back in the second row. We love it for his token mention. It's always, yeah, there's a 42 if you want it. Sign him up.
He's going to try, is he?
No, mate. He'll tackle. Doesn't do anything else. He'll tackle. I forgot to mention, our man Brandon Wakeham has snuck back in there. So, Simpkin is cooked. Drop Simpkin. Done. Brandon Wakeham there just annoy the hell out of everyone. So, that's it. Now, if Taniela Paseka was dropped, Todds, can I just check with you? I think there's a sneaky pickup here, just in the sense that I think he ran out of steam a bit coming back from injury this year. I think there's a chance that he finishes a lot stronger than he'd shown in the last few weeks. So if you need an FRF2, very gettable, cheap option that you could pick up, plug and play. I think you'll be a little better.
Very much agreed.
Beautiful. Meso was hanging on. Thank God, I thought you were about to move on without mentioning the line busting offload spraying is a good way to put it. Demon that is Corey Waddell. I would never. One of my absolute stalwarts.
Corey Waddell. That's one that you'd start over bloody, was it Kai O'Donnell at the start of the show?
There's the advice the listeners want, mate. Kai O'Donnell versus Corey Waddell. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Don't start Kai O'Donnell, but for some reason start Corey Waddell. Bloody hell.
Let's not get there. All right. Moving on through what hopefully in the beautiful winter sunshine at Suncorp Stadium should be as open a game as we've ever seen. You're going to fire up a lot of people in this matchup, gentlemen. So is this one of those green light Karapani, Stags, Mariner, or Anderson moments, Todza? It just feels like an open game to me.
I don't think so. I think the Broncos are dog shit.
I'd start Karapani easily in this matchup.
No, I think the Dolphins pump him.
Yeah,
I tend to agree. Actually, I think this could be a bit of a cricket score for the Finns. Hamaso's been quiet. I think this is a get right game for the Dolphins because the Broncos. We've seen what they've been like with stuff to play for. These boys are not playing for Mike Maguire at any level. They've got no interest. Payne Haas is out the door. Wilson's got a sore knee. Reynolds cooked.
Cooked.
Ben Hunt cooked. Jaden Hunt's getting a run. Yeah, I don't have any faith. There's a couple of Broncos like you have to start. You have to start. The obvious few, but those periphery guys.
Paragon, that's it.
Yeah, those periphery guys that you're talking about, Redford. I'm not firing them up if I don't have to. Like even Walsh, like you fire Walsh up because you have to, but you're not excited about it.
Dursto's just saying he agrees about the pumping in the Bronx and haven't done so in the last couple of games that had against each other. My thoughts are because there's nothing on the line for this Dursto, this is not they're playing for anything. I think it's pretty open. I don't think there'll be great defensive starch. And I think I agree with you, Finns to pump, but I also think Broncos garbage time, Walsh still trying at the end, line break try, Karapani type of deal. So I'm starting Karapani here myself. Despite your analysis and agreeing with most of it, I think the Bronx will garbage up in this one after being pumped by like 40. So that means we're green lighting, obviously, the entirety of the back line. Yeah, Monday's expert, welcome, mate. Could be defense optional, 56-30, the Finns. something like that. That's where my brain went, maybe a little less for the Bronx, but they've kind of given it up. So Cody's a start this week, gentlemen. If you got him in your platoon 5'8" sort of spot, will go all right. Isaiah Katara as well, a good get right game for him. Maxi Plas still just chilling there on the bench, annoying the shit out of everyone. He's there, and ignore Tommy Flegler's big score, who finally scored a line break try. Not happening. Billy Walters.
That might be the name over Sonny Luke, boys. You finally could have got it.
There you go.
What do you think? It's risky as they come, because we know that it's really important that Ben Hunt gets on the field to scream at his teammates despite his mistakes for at least 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if they'll start Ben Hunt come kickoff. Put Duffy back.
Yeah.
Like, Ben Hunt going around another year is going to be one of the it's going to be one of the biggest drop balls getting around.
It's wild. It is like, what makes you think? It almost sounds like he thinks he's doing the Bronx a favor. Oh, I'll hang around one more year to look after him. Like, what?
But you're not, Ben.
You're hurting your team.
You're yelling, like you said, you're yelling at your team every second play.
Who's up against Dean Mariner this week, boys?
Yeah, him in the centers is an arm grabbing experience.
Who's up on that side?
Yeah, what does Dean play? He plays left, doesn't he? So he'll be up against Bostock.
Bostock for a double. Boy, howdy.
Katoni versus Herbie.
Yeah, that's fun, but boy, howdy does Bostock go through that bloke. Holy.
Bostock, Asako week, where it was more of a Herbie Cobbo last week, and Cobbo should have scored 1,000 after blowing a couple. But you have to think it goes right a bit this week, gentlemen, surely.
Oh boy. Boy, howdy. This is going to be huge.
Yeah, this is good from Stanger. Broncos' obsession with blokes in the twilight of their career needs to be studied. They kind of passed the torch from the Dragons of recent times across Stanger. Dragons have realised that it doesn't quite work. So looking forward to seeing Ben Hunt pass to Dane Gagai next year.
Oh, don't worry about Mitch Barnett. This time next year, Barney won't be far away either. Just quietly.
Oh, that's funny.
He's still playing good now, Barnett, but you just know that he's not. That cliff's not that far away either.
It's not. And special shout outs to Jaden Hunt, starting on an edge in 2026 with what he's shown on the football pitch. Good stuff. Really
up against Finny Filiaki, that's going to go well. Oh,
Jaden, seriously, that's as good as it gets. Back row depth, sadly lacking in this side, it is fair to say. You're not starting Thomas Duffy. I can't get around it. The more I've looked at it, it's risky as. And even Ezra, man, like, it probably garbage. You're like, yes, Meso. Waddell looking better and better by comparison. Yes, he is. All right, that's enough for the Bronx. They stink. They will get pumped. Garbage time coming.
Get on the Fins to cover and score 1,000.
Speaking of covering, with the likes of Tallis Duncan, Cameron Murray, David Fafita, and the absolute saviour that is Adam Elliott back on an edge, sure to get injured inside the first 15 minutes of the game. They're looking better, the Souths. They've found a bit here. It's green light. Are there any marginal green lights here, gentlemen? Like, you can't start Elliott. Let's not go there. But I think this is a Campbell Graham week, Tots.
I like Campbell Graham.
Yeah, this is a Campbell Graham week. Simmo?
This is National Ward week. He's the guy you start that's not sort of an every week play.
Yeah.
Like, they've dropped, so Siegwald's out for Tallis back in, which means Ashton Ward will kick goals against the Eels.
Yep.
This is a pretty good South side compared to the last few weeks where they've had guys out. Ashton Ward was pretty ordinary last week, so he should bounce back. I think he's in deeper leagues. Like, fire him up because I think he'll have a good game.
Name 13 will be on an edge for Murray, says Dursto. And Cal's about that. Good shout, Durst. It does make sense with the makeup of their side because they've got plenty who can jump into that 13 spot. Please don't start Brandon Smith as one of your hooker options, given his performance from last week. Could really do without that. Wow.
Dross.
Tell us, Duncan, back. Very exciting for owners. And yeah, you'd like, Jesus, if you're platooning Dufty with, like, for example, here's a great one. You might be the Yongi owner. Dufty starts over Yongi in this for me if you have a choice between the two, even though I think Yongi's an overall better player. Yes?
Yep.
Yes.
If you are the Dream Buller owner, you've timed yourself very well with Dufty to play this week. You probably were playing him ahead anyway.
If you've got Dream Buller, you are not still alive.
Hey!
Oh, hey, Todd, didn't see that.
Actually, I do.
That's a low blow from you, Simmo.
I'm sorry, mate. You know what makes it even lower, and I'm really sorry for saying this, but in one of the leagues that I'm in where I've got the buy this week, I just picked Buller up as a free agent. So technically I am a Buller owner and still alive.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah,
so I'm very, very happy for you.
Yes,
mate.
I wish I was picking up Buller now too, actually.
It's something that you do if you're still alive, mate.
I didn't have the pain and suffering of 25 bloody rounds with him.
Yeah, there's no way Buller owners are in the finals. Let's be real.
Oh, boy.
Keon back to the front row. You love to see it. Parramatta. Look, the matchup isn't technically horrible for them either. Brian Kelly can probably still be started. Yongi if you got him. Mitch Moses has found a little bit of form. This matchup isn't terrible. Ashton Ward versus Moses, Simmo, based on your advice, probably closer than we dare to admit.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling about Ward. I'd fire him up.
I don't hate it, mate. I don't think I'd buy into Mo, but he's at least he's been a little bit better. Jack Williams into the back row. You love to see it. I'm not going to spend much more time on Parramatta.
Nope.
Dursto speaking like with true rose-tinted glasses and backing Yongi over Dufty in there. I have a prop bet with you at some point, sir. Very confidently against that particular one myself. Here's another massive matchup, gentlemen, for where things are at in the table. This is Canberra's last chance saloon here. Must beat the Knights to have a chance to chase my boys down or to chase Canterbury down. So it's a huge, huge game down at GIO. Apologies, I've just had a mare there. I'm just thinking this, down in GIO, hopefully in the sunshine on Sunday, but you feel, again, two teams really playing for it. It feels like more of a defensive game to me.
Yeah, possibly. I don't mind the shout of it being, like a cold GIO week. These two teams both playing for a lot. I didn't really I know that the Knights won last week, and I was at the game, so I was kind of feeling it. It didn't feel like a great win. I don't know. I know you guys put up a score. What did it feel like on TV? I didn't think they were super polished.
I actually thought you were going to say the opposite. I thought polished, restrained, just did everything kind of right at the right moments and let the Bronx just lose. But just doing the little things right, the defensively.
Okay. I saw the Broncos were so bad that they should have just been better. More points scored. I don't know. That's what I felt like at the game. But
yeah, and to your point, then. So the way I looked at it is, when Penrith, you look at them and you go, Jesus, Penrith, put them to the throat, go nuts, score 50, right? To me, that looked like the Knights just getting himself in finals ready form. We just lost, obviously, Lucas and Brown with the new combos. We just played super polished, tidy football, not making a lot of mistakes, and defensive starch in the middle. Shout out to my boy Phoenix again. Jeez, he just axes pricks in the middle. It's great to watch. So not an amazing performance, Todd, but everything kind of right. And Fletcher Sharp, and Fletcher Sharp just finally showing maybe that leg injury, touch wood for owners, just at the right time of the year, looked outstanding. He was fun to watch. So I don't know, gentlemen. This is one where if you've got those marginal calls, Simo, help us out here. You're not starting Jed Stewart. You're not starting Savage, obviously. Timoko 99 against Penrith was a bit surprising. So I think he's probably hard to not start, the same as obviously Sasungi. But over Gagai and Best, Simo, you got to start Best, don't you?
Yeah, I think you do. 40 for most leagues out there anyway. 40 CTWs is sort of the cutoff for what we call a CTW 4. I mean, the matchup's not that bad that you're going to go away from Bradman Best. Like, he's been so good this year. I just don't like. That's just nowhere near in the realms of possible. Like, I just could not do that. Like, I know it's a final, whatever, but he's just too good a player.
Agreed. Slim Cognita's good to see you, mate. Nights and years gone would have lost versus the Bronx last week with those outs. I couldn't agree more. We'd gone into our shell or relied on Ponga too much. I think that was the other thing I liked is we didn't rely on Ponga in that game, which I really thought was positive. Cal asked, reckon Brown out may shift Knights left more? Yeah, potentially. I think Sandon in his own right's a pretty good playmaker, though, so not a guarantee there. But Fletcher was pretty prominent, Cal, so don't hate it. Really good question from Zed Dragons. I'll go to you first, Mr. Todd. Sandon or JMK rest of season? I think this is second close.
I'm a big JMK guy. He put up like a 50-something last week. I would like to take Sandon here. Just back the Knights to do something and think he might do enough to be like an attack to be better than JMK rest of the season.
Yeah. Simmo, I just want to throw a little context before yours. Sandon will need the goal kick a shit ton better than he did on the weekend to hang on to that over Kalen.
Yeah, if Sandon loses the kicking, it's like I might say JMK anyway. I think I will say JMK anyway, but that's a bloody good question. Sandon's. If you got Sandon on your roster, then well done to you because I think he's going to be pretty decent. As a JMK owners out there, I think he's had a bit of a lull lately. So have the Dolphins. It's more of a hopeful thing. I reckon the Dolphins will start to amp it up now. They're starting to get their team back. Yeah. So hopefully that means less Morgan Knowles and more Max Plath as a middle and not taking minutes off JMK. He'll still take some, but hopefully it's not sort of 20. It's more just like the sort of 12 to 15. So, yeah, this is a close one, but I'll take JMK just. I think the JMK, we're asking it sort of on his downswing, whereas Sandon sort of, the timing of this question is recency bias would lean you towards Sandon, but I think we could just be selling JMK a bit short.
Sandon, for me, it's the variance of the minutes from J&K worries me, Simo. Like, I actually really like your take on him. He often finishes the season really well, as he did last year after all those injuries. And I do like your surge with a bit of a chance of upside for the Finns, but I think Sandon with a slightly safer floor whilst that goal kicking is there. Sandon for me. Great question, though, Zed Dragons. Love that. All right. There really isn't too much here other than we've just got to quickly touch on McEwen. I swear we talk about every bloody week because how confusing. He should have scored so many more points, Todzer, in that game. Just threw away points, but did not play 80 minutes, mate. And with Cant there, that is the concern we mentioned. It's all good. We don't all get them right, sir. The Francis side of it's looking absolutely outstanding with 80. Looks amazing. But not I didn't say that to pour on so much. More just what do we do with McEwen, who is still good.
You can't trust him this week in a final. No, thank you. I'm a big fan of the kid, and I think we've talked about him about 1,000 times in this podcast, but I can't fire him up this week, I think.
You just can't, hey? He could be stashed in the hope that maybe he was working back and maybe the 80, like say he played 80 this week, Todd, Knights win and he looks good. He could be a start for you for the last few rounds there, but I'm completely with you, mate. And if you can't start him, fella, then none of the listeners should. So there's that.
What happened in the back row for the Raiders last week? I didn't see the Panthers game. So did Mariota start and play?
Yeah. What was it again? So Nicholson did come on and score a try, and I thought there was a chance we would actually see him, but yeah, he didn't. Nicholson didn't start, did he, Simo?
No, he didn't. Mariota played the majority of the game on the edge, and then Nicholson came on later. Yeah, did score a try late, but it was mostly Mariota's. Mariota got most of those minutes.
And Mariota play on the left. That'll be McEwen's side.
I think Mariota may have played on the right, actually.
Ooh.
Did Hosking switch to the left, Simo?
I think he might have, actually.
Interesting.
That's an interesting one.
Not as good for Manu Leilua then, because Hosking is a bit of an axe in defense.
Don't quote me on that. Maybe Hosking did stay on the right.
Okay.
I think Hoskins.
Yeah, actually, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, as Dursto, a very unusual one there. Hosking actually copping a bit against Cleary in that game. I still feel you start Hosking, obviously. 80-minute edge back row position is phenomenal. I would just still have Nicholson stashed, gentlemen. Call me crazy, but like he could just be working his way back and you might get 2 startable weeks before round 26. So I'd be interested, very interested if you've got the room. All right, that's it for that game. If you believe in handcuffs, you could handcuff Tamale and Fletcher Hunt, funnily enough, beside each other in this. If either of them get a start, they could be an option for you, but not an absolute must. And last but not least, if you are a Nico Hines owner, oh, Nelly, here it is. This is the way, if you have captains in your league, don't get cute with VCs. I would need, honestly, 135 from my VC to even consider it this week. His average against the Dragons is already just absolutely bonkers. He's going to win people weeks. It's massive. You're starting who Simmo, it's probably easy to do it this way. Who from the Sharks are you not starting in this game? Because you could make an argument for almost all of them.
No one. Start everybody.
Like it's honestly
maybe not your base stat guys. So I mean, you're probably going to start Colquhoun, but you could get away from him. Like of the thought, like if you think the Sharks are going to run that rampant that he only scores like a 50.
Yeah.
Like I think he scored 58 on the weekend, but his minutes were back up. So I honestly look at this team, the fact that they've gone Fnil Blake and Colquhoun together. I think they've been shaping up towards this being their best. But this will be their team come finals week 1. Is that sort of that sort of thing? So yeah, start them all. I could not bench any of them, to be honest.
That was the reason I asked you, Simmo. Usually you find a prop or something in there. You'd see like a Hazelton or a Oregon Gafusi, even actually a good day offloading on the weekend, to be fair. But generally speaking, you find one. I'm just genuinely just start him. So if Ramian's out there, Todza, you can fire him up this week. He can be a low-end waiver and plug and play and a must-win. And I'd rather – Hirotti's the only one. You'd rather him on a wing, but just given the amount of points around him, like he can easily cross this week.
Every chance for a meaty this week, Hirotti.
Yeah, love
it's
it.
It's the matchup you want, like any sort of CT dub isn't the matchup you want, isn't it? St. George.
This version of Puru, Nawai Puru, he's off to the Bears, another signing. So, young player, see how he goes and all that jazz.
Jeez, they sign some players, don't they? That club, boy, howdy, watch out for them.
Yeah, they're throwing as much as they can. I get it. And Dursto said Hirotti versus my apologies. Hirotti versus Sully and 2. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Dursto. Bank it. I have made it very clear my thoughts on one Moses Sully and NRL chops. I think he's a great player for the Super League. Dragons, then, it's just a hard sell. You're going to have to start Val. Clinton Gutherson winds back the clock with a 91, if you don't mind. He's found a bit of form recently. So in 2014 league, Simmo, probably number 1 pickup of the week, mate.
I love the fact you call him Clinton there. That's done me. That's very good. Oh, yeah. He's got some youth on him side, this Clinton Gutherson. I like it.
He's got slightly slicker hair going. He's done what I'm doing. You get a bit of a fade, get it going.
Yeah, you and Clinton. Cut from the same cloth.
Me and my boy Clinton downstairs getting it done.
You and Gutho, best buds. Jeepers.
Meso, I'd be bullish on Ramian and even use a high waiver on if he's available. Sharks are going to put real scores. Yeah, I absolutely agree, mate. Ramian's like kind of a cool one that'll have a bit of utility as a platoon finish as your 4 CT dub. So I am about it. Sione, probably well and truly owned by now, Meso, but in shallower leagues, like those family leagues of 6 or 8 teamers where he is floating, or even those leagues that only play 3 CTWs, I think he comes well into play. So I'm about it, Meso. Good shout. Yeah, just quickly, gentlemen. I also think the reason the Sharks are even more bullish this week is you've got Lycan King Tongia and his inability to defend. You also have no Toby Couchman to help punch forward through the middle. So you're going to see a far less effective Dragons side this week, and yeah, it's going to be rough, really rough shout. So start these three gentlemen at the back. You're going to have to start Val because he's still the goal kicker and he's decent, and that's it, right? Nothing else?
Yep, that's it.
Brilliant.
Christopher Tonga, I guess, as a FRF too, but that's it.
He actually will, Todder, without Touchman there, I actually tend to agree with you, sir. I think that is what will happen. So I don't mind that one. Good shout. All right, gentlemen, do you want to jump into some questions for the week? I'll start with you, Todder, actually. Book of Face.
Yeah, mate. No questions on the website, on the Book of Face today. So, yeah, there you go.
Mate. A lot of the folks are actually, they're tuned in this week, which is good gear. And I've got a couple of questions we'll go to in a moment, loyal listeners. Simmo, is X cranking away, old son?
Oh, hang on. No, I think it is. I think we've got a few questions, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep, go team.
First one is Keely or Katonga this week?
Keely.
Yep. Round to Keely's.
Hey, by the way, I want to point out Katonga is not a bad option in that matchup. Let's call it for what it is. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. I don't think Souths are that great. So
no, it's still Keely.
Yeah.
He's lost Casey McLean, so would you go Isaac Tungo, Sam Rani, Moses Leo, Jesse Ramian?
Hello, Jesse Ramian.
Agreed.
If you miss out, go Leo. They're the two very good options out of that bunch.
Yeah, you could actually reverse the order he wrote them in.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, Sam Rani's clearly the floor argument out of him and Tungo as well, yeah.
Yeah. Last another one here. Lacking a real captain option. Best choice out of he's getting frisky here. Best choice out of Fafita, Duff.
As in David Fafita, we presume?
Yep, David. Well, we would say so.
It's a no to Jojo and David. There you go.
Yep.
David Fafita, Duffy, Ronaldo, Izako, Bostock.
Bostock runs a train through Dean Mariner.
I am absolutely struggling between Duffy and Osako there, Simo. That is so close for me. Holy crap. They're both a chance of 150. Oh, man.
Bostock just gets squashed right away.
There's not. Bostock is the third option for me in that lot.
I'm getting on Bostock, baby.
I'm going to have to go with the goal kicking floor gets Osako across the line. I think they'll go that edge. I'm on Osako. Big time, actually. Geez, Duffy's a good option if you had to.
I'd actually go Ronaldo.
It also a great option. Also a great option. Oh, shit, I forgot him in the list. No, so your man Bostock is in that scenario.
Jackie Bostock, brah, 176 incoming.
I apologize. I might have missed Ronaldo, but yeah, I'd probably.
My bad, mate. That's on me. Holy crap! Yeah, Ronaldo. Yeah, Canitas. I think it's the goal kicking floor with your captain is probably the go. But Jesus, imagine captaining Ronaldo though in a must-win final, and he does one of his weird clunkers that he does just out of nowhere. Sometimes that's the only.
Like his random 20.
Yeah, for no reason in a game where the Sharks clean him out, it just goes all Sione's side. Like. I doubt it, but just keep that in mind as possible.
I actually think that Duffy might be the safest against the Eels.
Oh, it's a mighty pick. That's one, Simo, even if it didn't work, in my head I go, I know my logic was incredibly sound. Like, he's going to have at least Jesus. If he's not doing at least one line break try assist in that game, I'll eat my hat. Surely.
Yeah.
Not on Duffy.
Interesting.
Anyway, I don't
know. Yeah, I don't know if we really answered it, but
they're all such bloody good options.
We've just talked about it.
That's going to be fun to revisit next week. Which one actually got up? That's going to be fun.
Yeah, give us your final answer, Todd. Is it still Bostock for you?
I'll get on Bostock, baby. 176 incoming.
Jesus.
What's your answer, Redford?
It's a Sarko. It's a Sarko. Just I think goal kicking. His his try scoring record at Suncorp as well is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, I'll go to my head. I'll go Dufty. There you go.
No
last
echo
one from the
changes
same
here,
guy.
baby.
Yeah, apparently not. Who would you use as a bench score? I think he's got to pick between Walsh and Dufty this week.
That's where I'll go Dufty, and I'm okay with it. Even if Walsh has one of his just amazing games against the Finns, I think everything you said about the Bronx holds here. I think it's Dufty.
Top man?
It's Reece Walsh.
Good question.
That's a ripper.
Yeah, probably Dufty, but geez, I tell you what, like in a final,
It's tough.
it's hard to not throw Walsh into one of your teams. But you can tell by my sentiment in this podcast. I think Dufty's a lot safer than Walsh, so they'll probably play it like that.
Yeah. Just a couple of questions here in the chat, then we'll wrap up the Listener League and the final standings before the final. So, Meso, King Tongi is starting now as a shocking fall for Atkinson. It really is. He's been really exposed this year at a bad side. He has defensively hasn't held up and just hasn't had that spark. Still think with a proper 7 organising the team, him playing as a 6 could look a lot better, but sometimes circumstances don't fall away. So, good shout, Meso. Dursto, asking for a mate. Who are you not starting out of Wong, D, Fifi, Katonga, and Kickow this week? Definitely not my side or anything.
Leave me out of it.
Who are you not starting? I can pretty easily sit D, Fifi there despite the matchup. Just too much uncertainty with him coming back. Whereas the other 3, they've got some certainty. I think the risk of a 42 there is too great for me. And he hadn't exactly shown blistering upside before then anyway. So I'm prepared if he goes out and brains it, at least you hopefully get through and you know you got him for other weeks. But he's my sit out of those 3. Todd's up?
Yeah, shit question. Let's just move on. Picking Durson's team for him.
Wonderful. Zen Dragons. Is Sam Walker a captaincy option? Also have Nickera, Haas, Keeney, Preston, and Tallis. Yes, is the answer out of those. Not because just of the 200 last week, just for a bit of flaw with the goal kicking argument. I just think the matchup with the Bulldogs is going to be tight, so he's not the slam dunk for a big 100 or anything.
Captain Kinney.
Kinney for Simmo. I knew you were going to be on Kinney, Simmo. I love it.
Bad. Kinney's not bad there, Simmo. I actually don't hate that shout at all. I won't push hard against that. I think that's pretty decent. Good shout.
I mean, if I had Walker and Kinney this specific week, Bulldogs against the Roosters, Titans at home against the Cows.
That's good shout.
I'd be chucking on Kinney personally.
The only reason, Simmo, that I made it like that, I'd rather the VCC option out of those 2 with Kinney playing early. I think is probably the better play. See how Kinney goes. But
yeah, definitely VC if you can.
Yeah. It was a joke. I didn't want an actual answer. The joke was actually watching Toddy's face and response when I asked him. Dursto, so thank you for that opportunity, mate.
Sick jokes. Y'all should do some stand-up comedy or something.
All right.
You guys should have a podcast, actually. That'd be funny. You and Durst on a podcast. That'd be good.
Shit.
Kind of like this one, but
I don't know how we jumped to there, but anyway, we'll keep on rolling. Share. All right. So, matchups for last week.
Oh, dear.
All right. So, Listener League finals are set, gentlemen. Todd's up?
Yes, mate. Yes.
Got a need to run through them on the screen there, big fella?
This is last week. I'm just on this week. Here we go.
You can look on the screen, big fella. They're right there in front of you.
All right, then. BDE Simon. He got dusted up by the bearded Broncos. 775 to 706. SJ's Revenge put up a 908.
Working it through for the listeners. We'll get there eventually.
Jeez, what's going on with these graphics? Get my face off this, buddy. This is shocking.
No, it's happening.
Dude.
It live added a few options there I've never seen before.
Mate, I don't think anyone cares for your excuses, to be honest.
That was awesome.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know why I just did that. I apologize, listeners.
The ultra zoom up of Simmo was my favorite
Yeah,
part of
that
that.
You gonna pick some hairs while you're there.
Like, I know it looked like I was genuinely like fucking with you, but it actually, I just saw two options that never appeared on the screen. So thank you for that, StreamYard. All right.
No, it's good. No, put it back. It's fine.
All right, Todd, sorry. Continue on, mate. Give us
Mate, Adolf Hitler, 825 versus 692. Sherry's Pies finishing out the year. Still in last, old son. Unlucky. Baxter's Boys put up 888 versus Don't Go Chasing Kurt's Falls. A big score here for Silkwood Slugs. 1043. Big score there. Sammy Walker doing his thing. Got to Isaiah Yo 106 for the big dog, and then finished off the weekend with a Ronaldo. So that's a big score. He put it over Munsters Inc. And I copped the flog in again, which is no surprise to anyone who listens to this podcast.
All right. Todd's was a bit out of it, so he didn't fully give that the wrap-up it deserved. There was a couple of big implications here to make finals. The couple of these matchups were massive. Simmo, the way it turned out, was win and in. I was win and in with SJ's Revenge sitting in 7th, so he had to win to potentially make it. The big fella has come home with a wet sail and got in. Fair play to Jared, so he's found his way. Simmo absolutely felled and cruel by injuries this year, with the Munster coming back 1 week too late, Harry Grant going down. Absolutely. As unlucky as they come, probably deserve to make it based on his drafting. So we had the final setup. Jumping across to the ladder. Here are the final series, gentlemen. So the Redfords have snuck in as the only BDE representative in this, and it's probably not the best side I'll ever put together. I'm telling you, it'll be a miracle and a half if I hold off the listeners for this one, gentlemen. Scraped in 6th place. Chipping a chair, as they say. Thank you, Casey McLean, for going down. You love it. So we've got both the Bearded Broncos and the Munsters Inc. have locked up those 1 and 2 spots. They've had a great season. They've got the bye. So there are some elimination semi-finals going on. It is I reckon, best name in the league. Don't Go Chasing Kurt Falls versus the Redfords. So winner will stay on again. And then you've got Fitler and SJ's Revenge in elimination semi. So all to play for. I think one of these two boys are looking pretty bloody good in my estimation. So, all right. That is the Listener League and where it sits. It's been a bloody quality contest. I should probably as well, just realizing, listeners do have asked to see the final table. So this is how it finally stood. It was quite tight at the top, gentlemen. Baxter's Boys unlucky to miss out on points 4 against myself after our ridiculous tie from the week before. And all the way down to a valiant effort, Jerry's Pies finishing with a bang. Toddy down in 10th, Nico 11th, and that's how she finished.
Where's Cletus?
Cletus is the mighty
Look at the mention
Cletus.
12.
When I said the Jerry Pies, I said.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Cletus is in there.
Put in.
Hell of a bloke.
Wethead Nico finishing with an absolute bang, just didn't quite time the run well. 4 and 1, if you don't mind, from 11th spot. So well done. It's been good fun. Looking forward to see how it goes. Cal said, couple more chat cues from me and Dragons, please and thanks. Sorry, the final stress is real. Fire away, Cal. This will be the last salvo, mate, then we'll wrap up. Cal?
Just put your face on large there while he's typing his message there.
Let's see if I can get that happening again.
We'll just go through some sunspots.
It's Simmo.
There he is.
There we are. We've got ourselves big here. Good stuff. Here we go. Here comes the cow. Who to sit out of? Marky Mark Dogs. You cannot sit Braden Burns against the Tights as a right winger against you. So that's a must before I even look at anything else. Kiraz Chooks. Best Raiders, Sione Katoa Drags. Gentlemen, I'm just straight away. Burns and Sione Katoa. I cannot sit them.
I agree with Sione Katoa.
This is one of those ones where, like,
tough.
I'm a start your studs. So for me, I'm starting Mark. I'm starting Kiraz. I'm starting Best. For me, this is a simple question of Burns versus Katoa. And I would go Katoa. So I'm sitting Burns.
Yeah.
Wow. Burns against the Tights.
Oh.
I'm Best misses out for me in this scenario. I bring in I'd have Burns, Katoa, and then your other two, Simmo. I'd sit best here. Not because I think he's any worse. I would just maybe as a tiebreaker the in-game injury risk that he presents with. I would just in a final.
Jeez, Burns is not.
Decent shout. Absolutely decent shout. I just think a double for Burns against the Tights is a red-hot chance this week. Todza, do you think that's the deciding vote? It's essentially
Burns. It's Burns versus Best for me, and I would still take Brady Best.
Yeah, okay. Good luck to you, Cal. Go with the gents, mate. They in the majority. Dragons, would you waiver in Hiroti for Lehigh as a 1 week play? No, because Turbo apparently is circling. And when Turbo moves back to fullback, you do want to be starting Lehigh in a couple of really juicy matchups. I would not be dropping Lehigh.
I mean, if it's make or break, like Roddy's a really good play this week. If you need someone, and then Lehigh's his worst player to drop.
Yeah. Will Turbo definitely go to fullback, do you think? Or could he go centre?
Because
like, will they finally play him centre?
Simo, because Clayton Filo is not fit, I don't think they have a choice, unfortunately. If Clayton was fit, I think the decision would be very, very easy, actually. But, I think Clayton did, sadly, he did his hamstring somewhat badly, the re-aggravation. So I just don't know if they have the choice because you can't play Lehigh at fullback when you've got Turbo, saying Lehigh is not much shot. But, yeah, that's a fun one, Cal. That's great. Interesting takes. Thanks, guys. Very hard spot to be in. It's like hard but good because a lot of those options should be good anyway. Hopefully the difference is like 15 points at most. All right. Good stuff, gentlemen. Enjoyed that. It's a bloody ripper of a potty to set up teams. Good luck to those in finals. A lot of listener leagues very juicy this week. Curtis Falls, I'm coming for you, mate. Hopefully we can keep the run going. Todd Meow, thank you very much, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's been fun. Talking about footy, and good luck to all the listeners in their finals.
Exactly. Simmo, thank you very much, sir. Exciting League of Record final. I think if I read correctly, you are against one of our listeners today. Is that right? Or have I got that wrong?
Yeah. No, Dursto's in the chat chalking away. So, yeah, he's up and about, the lad.
G'day and good luck all, says Cal and Meso. Good luck with any finals matches. Thanks for the potty, gents. Thank you, as always, to our loyal listeners. You guys are bloody brilliant. BDE community continues to grow. Like and subscribe. Let your family and friends know about us. And as always, get that BDE in you. Oh.